What's up, Meta Nerds? In this video, I want to talk about the character Kybo Ren, and what, if any, relationship this character has to do with Kylo Ren. First, you have to know who the hell Kybo is. He was a pilot in the early years of the Galactic Empire, and in the year 15 BBY, Kybo Ren and his crew captured a Gladiator-class Star Destroyer, named the Demolisher, and used it to wage a personal war on the planet Tammuz-On. He loses a battle to the planet's naval forces, is captured, but then rescued by his first mate, kidnaps a princess, and flees to the moon of Bogdan. With a princess as prisoner, he's able to secure the freedom of the rest of his crew, but when he attempts to go back on this deal, he's captured by enemy troops who had worked their way into his camp by posing as pirates. Now, I flew through his life story because when you combine this with how he's portrayed, as basically a foolish slob, an all-around character you're not supposed to take seriously, I find it hard to believe that there's any kind of secret message or parallel story that we're supposed to apply to the life of Kylo Ren. But I also don't think that this name is just coincidence, partially because how could this be coincidence? And before you start screaming, it's that stupid Droids TV show, it doesn't actually apply to my real Star Wars stuff. Well, remember that planet Kybo Ren fled to? It was Bogdan, the first time that planet was mentioned. And if that sounds familiar, it might be because of this.
I was recruited by a man called Tyrannus on one of the moons of Bogdan. Curious.
But wait, there's more. The easily dismissed droid animated series, released in 1985 for a single season, was also the first time you heard about the planet Bunta and the Bunta Speeder Race, an enormous festival to celebrate Bunta Eve, names and events that would be recycled in the form of the Bunta Eve Classic Pod Race, which we saw in episode 1. So we know that there's already a precedent for taking names from this obscure droid TV show and name dropping them into the actual Star Wars movies. So this makes it somewhat less ridiculous that J.J. Abrams may have borrowed this name and changed it slightly for the son of Solo. There are some people out there that think that this is just a coincidence, however, but I highly doubt that and actually disagree with some of their reasoning. Some point out that Kylo Ren isn't even his name, it's technically a title. And to further that point, Kybo Ren isn't the full name, it's actually Kybo Ren Cha. My response to this first criticism would be that it's kind of missing the point. It doesn't really matter if it's a name or a title. The point is all of the trillions of different fantasy name combinations that you could have come up with. Kylo Ren clearly seems to be influenced by Kybo Ren. Think about it like this. You would have a hard time believing that two different authors came up with nearly the exact same title for their main character, even if their stories were set in the same time period. If you don't see this happening in Victorian-era mystery novels, then how do you think it's happening on accident in a galaxy where you can make up names like Sheev Palpatine, Darth Maul, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Bib Fortuna? And a small part about Kybo Ren's name being Kybo Ren Cha. That sounds like maybe it's just confirmation bias when we focus in on the Kybo Ren part. But when you actually watch the episode, The Revenge of Kybo Ren, first, the title just has Kybo Ren in it, but also throughout the show, they just refer to him as Kybo Ren. Which leads me to what I think is the real reason why we have such similar names for these two very dissimilar characters. I watched the entire episode in question, and while yes, it was very painful, something kinda stuck with me, and that's just how much this character loves saying his own name. He's like a gross little immoral Pokemon, and it seems like every time this character's on the screen, somebody's shouting Kybo Ren.
Captain Kybo!
Captain Kybo Ren Cha.
Well, Kybo, think what you will, Kybo Ren.
Kybo always wins. No one escapes the wrath of Kybo.
So if J.J. Abrams, Loris Kasdan, or Michael Arndt didn't intentionally name him after Kybo Ren, then I think that the only logical answer is that we're dealing with a case of cryptomnesia. This is when a forgotten memory comes back to a person without even realizing that they heard it before. This is an issue with all creative arts, but some of the highest profile cases of these are when comics are accused of stealing jokes. It's hard to tell when a comic intentionally ripped somebody off, or if it was just cryptomnesia, where a joke might pop into their head without the attached memory of this being performed by another comic. I think of all the random names that could be made up in a fictional sci-fi universe, the similarities between Kybo Ren and Kylo Ren are not coincidence, and it was either done on purpose or simply a case of cryptomnesia. And one more thing before you go, this is just kind of cool, but I did think it was worth pointing out. Check out this pirate droid which could be seen in the background of the Revenge of Kybo Ren episode, and see if you notice any similarities between this and some concept art for what Kylo Ren could have looked like for episode 7. And be sure to let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments down below. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button, and be sure to leave a comment down below if I missed any cool facts, or if you have a suggestion for future videos. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at MetaNerdsLore, so you can see us build Star Wars props and cosplays, along with some other cool Star Wars stuff. If you want to help support this channel, check out the description below for our Amazon store and our Patreon. And be sure to subscribe, because we're making videos like this every single day. But more important than all that, remember, even if you don't like Kylo Ren, just be thankful we didn't get Kybo Ren. And the Force will be with you, always.